They're coming to get you.
The persons who have recently died have been returning to life.
The Fear Central Radio Show.
Hey, fellow horror fans, welcome to the Fear Central Radio Show, and I am your host, Mike, and I've got a whole crew with me here today, so starting this way, we'll go around that way.
Okay.
Paul is back.
Paul's back.
Katie's here.
Katie's here.
Ooh, yay, Katie! A newbie. We love newbies.
Well,
She's
no,
not really
she's been on the
new.
show before.
Yeah.
Twice.
New Year's Eve.
I
She
think.
just,
Halloween, not New Year's Eve.
Yes, Halloween.
Yes.
Okay, I forgot.
Oh, yeah, Halloween.
Yes.
She's
I was a
one
little
of those
frazzled.
Okay.
silent audience members that
Okay.
get in
And
every once
Heather.
in a while.
And then we got Heather
Chris.
and Chris.
Yay.
Yay, we're all here. So we're trying something a little new this week that we're probably going to do for the next few shows, just to kind of give it a try and see, you know, how everybody likes it. Don't really have a title for it, so I'm just going to say we're calling it the Watch and Review.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay? So this week we're doing The Bye-Bye Man.
We did. We just sat down and watched The Bye-Bye Man.
Yes,
We did.
I did. And
For your sake.
If you want to know what The
For
Bye-Bye
all
Man
your
is...
sakes.
for all of your sake.
For
We
all
should
of your
just
sakes, yeah.
throw this movie on a chopping
Yeah,
block.
so The Bye-Bye Man, in this harrowing tale of horror...
We should say he's reading a synopsis right now.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
reading a
yes,
synopsis.
not
That's
our
not, that's
synopsis.
not
our
his.
synopsis.
That's not his personal feelings.
No. But it's a trio of Wisconsin college kids. They decided to rent an off-campus house together.
Oh, yeah.
Neat.
Yeah. Only to discover that the place is home to an evil supernatural entity known as... Don't think it, don't say it. The Bye-Bye Man.
Well, now that you've thought that, you
know.
gotta say it.
So,
Yeah.
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 It was...
It was a ride.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't fantastic either. It was just kind of middle of the road for us.
Okay.
You know?
So starting off, pass fail from everybody. Is there anybody that gives the movie a pass?
On what scale are we using? Are we using the sliding
no,
scale?
it's not a grade. It's not a letter grade. It's pass or fail.
Fuji
Pass
scale,
fail.
how much it eats.
Oh, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'd have to go thumbs down. There wasn't enough in it that
Pick a
intrigued
side,
me.
There's some
Heather.
pain there, Heather.
It is because I'm kind of middle of the road. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't something I want to watch again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not one that grabs me, so I'm going to go thumbs down.
It is about the epitome of teen horror flick.
It really
Yeah.
was. I mean,
And-
which is fine, teen horrors, whatever,
and,
you know, but...
and we'll get into some of our issues, but my main issue is just so everybody knows, this movie is rated PG-13.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's perfectly fine if you want to show it to a teenage audience that's not very discerning, I guess.
Came out back in January.
It did.
Here's some of the scores from around other places.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that Rotten Tomatoes score.
IMDb gave it a 4.3 out of 10.
Okay.
Metacritic gave it a 37. I guess out of 100.
Wow. That's...
And then Rotten Tomatoes only gave it a
hurts.
24%.
Now the important thing to remember
That's
about well, the important thing to remember is whenever you're dealing with those averages, Rotten Tomatoes is only 24% of the viewers gave it a positive review. Is
Right.
what the way they do it, and it's kind of squiffy as far as how squiffy.
All right.
Like
Squiffy.
it's kind of hard to make everything cohesive as far as what's a positive review, what's a negative
Right.
review.
True.
I mean, it's not as bad as those scores say. I would say I'll give it that positivity. It's not a 37.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
About a 50. I would
it
say
was-
on a scale from 1 to 100, it was about a 50. It was about a middle of the road, typical teenage horror flick.
It wasn't terrible. It was mediocre.
Yeah, mediocre. That's
So I mean, there's definitely worse things. Like if if it's on streaming or somebody has it lying around,
watch it. Give it a watch. You may
fine.
love it. We were kind of middle of the road there. But
All right, so my. Do you want to lead this off?
Oh, what's that?
What your issues are with the said movie?
Well, actually, I was going to go with a little more detail about the film. It was budgeted at $7.5 million.
That's kind of impressive looking for 7.5.
Yeah. Made 26. So it made it.
They spent all
back.
that money on Serenity, didn't they?
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then I was looking to see what the actual Metascore was rated, like 37 out of what, but it didn't show. But
they work on 100.
Yeah.
They work on 100
IndieWire.
scale.
Jude Dry from IndieWire said, led by a few strong performances and delivering plenty of heart-clutching moments, The Bye Bye Man is sure to appeal to horror lovers of all stripes.
What heart-clutching moment?
That's the most positive review from a critic.
Because out of their 22 critics, 3 gave them positive, 6 were mixed, and 13 were negative.
All right, so there are some surprising actors in this.
Yes.
Like a precious few, and it's none of the main characters.
No.
Faye Dunaway shows up for all of a scene and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she does.
Somebody must have known her family.
Right?
Trinity,
Carrie
Ann Moss shows up as a detective.
Yep.
It's very. It kind of floors you for a second whenever she first appears because it's well past the halfway mark.
It is, and she just kind of out of nowhere. Oh, look, there she is.
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones.
My favorite performance of the entire movie is probably Lee Winnell. The guy that wrote Saw and Insidious and The Conjuring and everything.
He's Larry.
He's the backstory that the whole movie hinges on. This reporter that hears about the Bye Bye Man and gets infected.
I would have loved a more backstory. And
I would have loved a movie off of his plot arc.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Yeah, because I was thinking maybe it'd have been something along the lines, oh, by the way, there will be spoilers galore in this show, so if you haven't seen it,
you might want to turn it off.
Stop.
Yeah.
Listen. Don't listen.
Turn us off, go turn it on,
Bye-bye.
and then come visit us again.
Yeah.
Or if you
really don't care to see it, just listen to what we got to say.
Yeah,
There you go.
and we'll have some recommendations as we go along because there are similar movies we've seen that have some of these earmarks, and if you haven't seen some of those, we do have some recommendations that are similar to this movie.
It was produced by Intrepid Pictures.
Yeah, and 4 other production companies. Those production logos went on for a while.
Yeah.
According to Metacritic, it's rated R.
No, it's rated PG-13. That's what it came up as on the DVD itself.
Oh, yeah, it says PG-13
So
up there. So why are they saying R?
Because I bet it was supposed to be R in the first place.
It may have been.
There is a lot that feels like it was cut from this movie.
I bet director's cut's an R.
Yeah.
Director's cut may be an R.
I think maybe if they'd left some stuff in, it would have made it a lot longer movie, but it would have made it a lot better movie, I think.
It says it's an hour 36.
Yeah.
It felt about an hour and a half. It didn't feel...
It didn't feel too terrible.
No.
It wasn't so drug out that it was like, oh my gosh, but...
I didn't have much... This is not a movie I ever held much esteem or hope for whenever I saw it.
I was really hoping it would be something that was,
I've been burned on too many teen horror films
really
for me to
good,
ever expect anything good from them.
Well, I was kind of hoping it would kind of have kind of the... How many times can I say kind of?
Kind of.
Sinister feel. Because that was a really good... Or the other movie that Scott Derrickson did...
Exorcism of Emily Rose?
No. The other one after that. Deliver Us From Evil?
Deliver Us From Evil?
Yeah.
The one with
the cop?
Ethan Hawke?
Yeah. No, Ethan Hawke was Sinister.
The Hulk.
Lou Ferrigno?
No. The bad Hulk. The one that no one wants.
Deliver Us From Evil. Sinister
2003?
2.
Yes.
Hulk? I didn't watch it.
Well, he's the one in it.
Okay.
Eric Bana. There we go.
Okay. Here's what the critic consensus is on Rotten Tomato. The Bye Bye Man clumsily mashes together elements from better horror films, adding to a derivative effort as short as on originality as it is on narrative coherency or satisfying scares.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums it up
That's
there.
kind of what we said earlier.
Yeah.
It wasn't
So
a lot
it's
of
a
scary moments.
Today B horror movie.
Yeah.
I think the first kind of jump, if anybody jumped a little bit, would have been when they were in the basement. When he went to the basement and it kind of it was that one little scene, and that was the only time.
I mean,
that was it.
You had your typical cliche of the walk in front of the camera,
The reflection, see him back kind of behind him in the shadows, and
I was saying that I didn't really have much hope for the movie. The opening scene right after the credits, that's the first scene with Lee Winnell.
That's right.
It's like set in the 60s, where he just like bursts in with a shotgun and starts like terrorizing a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Did you say the name? Did you say the name?
Yeah. Did you say the
tell?
name?
Who did you tell? Who did you tell?
That whole opening scene was almost right out of Hitchcock's Suspense.
Yeah, it was very good.
Well, and it got you thinking maybe this is going to be
actually, I think that's
good.
pre-credits, then credits, and then
Yeah.
you get introduced to the three characters.
No, you get the train. That was the first thing you got
Yeah,
with
you got the
42, 41, 42, 41, 42.
That was
and they
through the
never,
credits.
ever explained what 42, 41 is. Why? What it had some sort of significance.
Well, there
You knew
is
it
a
did.
train that relates to the plot.
Well, yes, it
Kind
does.
of,
but,
yeah.
I mean, the numbers were...
not kind of.
They're
He
very-
They're
goes to the
very
police.
clear that the numbers on that train were very clear, and if
I don't know.
it had nothing to do with it, then maybe they wouldn't have shown the numbers, because I can guarantee you there's not a train that's 42, 41, 42, 41, 42, 41.
Well,
If you say that fast enough, it sounds like a train.
Maybe it does.
42,
I mean,
42, 41, 42.
it's the call sign for whatever engineer got the train is, but I don't know if it's just a matter of it being a night shot and those numbers are illuminated. So it becomes like one of the only things you really see. I think it was for tone, because you have it's shot straight on. It's a train a camera looking down the front end of a train, and they do it a few times throughout the movie, and I get the feeling that it was part of another cut of the movie or another script treatment, and they somehow decided to shoot it still.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it fit. I mean, and then when you did get to that point, it felt like it fit, but then there was other parts of it, and you're going, wait, what? Why is this on the train and this? And it was disconjointed for me. It was like all over the place.
I was on board with the movie all the way through the first night.
Yeah.
And at the very next day, after these three college kids moved into this townhouse, it feels like you lost about 5 to 10 minutes of the movie right then.
Yeah, because it's like there's stuff happening,
They're
and then all of a sudden, bang, bang, boom, we're up, we're in the kitchen.
All the character motivations go to hell.
Yeah,
because it's just because you have the first. I mean, I guess it's somewhat a little bit after the first night, because the scratch marks are afterwards.
Yes.
So, yeah, they had like them hearing noises the first night, and then they go down to the basement, and there's like this stone wall outside the house, and there are these horrific claw marks all over the walls.
Freddy Krueger showed up.
Yeah.
And
or Wolverine.
I was on board. I was on board with that.
It was 5 claw marks.
Yeah, it was.
I was on board with that,
Whatever
and the
it
movie was
was.
pretty restrained to that point. Like, it was doing slow build.
Like,
and
it could build up to being good.
Yeah, I was like, it was setting the stage properly. So I was like, okay, where are we going with this? And then it feels like there's all these hard cuts, and it's like someone's telling you a joke, and they start off real strong, and then they said, and then something happens, punchline.
Right. Yeah. And there was this, and there was that, and oh my gosh, it was this, and then nothing. Well, damn.
Well,
Like
it
being
looks like
turned on, turned
this
off.
is
without
evidently.
the-
Where did you find this, honey? Where did you find this story? Oh, I don't
It
mind
said it
giving them
was-
props if they got good stories. So she was looking on here, and thanks to our good buddies over at Bloody Disgusting, they're saying that this was actually a story told by Schneck himself, who claims to have a personal connection allegedly relayed to him by a friend who allegedly experienced it. Sounds a lot like Slenderman.
A little bit.
Yeah, I would. Well, yeah. Initially, I had some flashes of Slenderman and Mothman prophecies.
So
Yeah.
basically, it builds up saying that the whole deal is that the reason the train is in it is because he used to travel by train, and that he ended up, trying to start off getting revenge for being tormented, and then just became a full-blooded serial killer, because that's how it goes.
But then you think of it like this: he said it was from a friend of a friend that had it happen to him.
So
but
who
yet
knows?
It's based on the story, The Bridge to Body Island.
That was the original name of the story.
right.
Yeah.
So was that his friend?
I don't know, but here's the legend of it. He's supposed to be a blind albino hobo from Louisiana.
Now, wait a minute. Is this a published tale or is this creepypasta?
No, it's a published tale.
Creepypasta.
That's what Slender Man is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Creepypasta
no,
is the
this is
name of internet folklore.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
This was
Pretty
published
much.
by Robert Damon Schnick.
Schneck.
Right, which is the original screenwriter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
So according to this, the reason he deals with the coins...
Yeah,
haven't
see,
got
there
to
was
that
no
yet.
explanation of that.
It was just all of a sudden there's coins,
Yeah.
gold coins.
Did
They're
you-
falling out of everywhere,
magic nightstands.
right?
So I haven't. If the backstory legitimizes this and it's sort of a thing passed around, I have a lot of issue with, quite frankly, this description and the descriptions I've seen on this movie.
But see, I don't
because
know.
it doesn't reference it.
Okay,
No.
his description is that he has long hair, a white face, black glasses, and a tattoo on his wrist, wears a pea coat,
Uh-oh, we got
and
some
drinks
UB40 in
red
here.
wine.
Got some red wine.
Stop it! We'll have to pay royalties.
Right?
In the movie,
UB40.
in the movie, when he's close, he has this creature type thing that
The dog?
kind of but it's not a dog. In
Actually,
the
it's
actual
like a
story,
dog.
it calls it a sack of gore.
Well, according to
sack
this,
of
it
gore?
calls it
Yeah.
Sack of
Gloom
gore.
Slinger, and
Gloom
that
singer.
the dog is
Oh, it's a voodoo
Skinless.
legend. That's
Uh-huh.
it's a voodoo legend.
Okay.
Which would make more sense if they kind of went in that direction and said it says in the original story that he rides the trains,
Right.
Which
All right.
would make a whole lot more sense.
So for the sake of our listeners, maybe not up to date on all this, we have yet to actually say. So, Bye Bye Man is a curse, essentially.
Yes. Kinda.
It's sort of the movie is real flaky on whether
Real.
it's just passed by knowledge or if there's like cursed objects.
well, it says that he becomes like almost
I mean,
telekinetic.
the way it appears to me is to like just as soon as you think of him, he appears and things are happening.
Yeah, because like in the opening, whenever he's asking who they've told, and he's shooting anybody that has knowledge of the Bye
Right.
Bye Man, and he said, "Don't think it, don't say it, don't
Right.
think it, don't say it."
It's not even just knowledge of him, it's knowledge of the name itself.
Right.
Right.
And that's all that matters.
So I mean, it's real. You know, it was like
Which
you were
lead-
saying earlier. There was no real backstory to where this came
when
from.
they said the story is so much better, which it usually is,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
the book is better most of the time. So pretty much 99% of the time.
Yeah.
But maybe if we read the story, I don't really know, but I had no idea. I had no idea it was based on an actual story.
I saw it in the credits, but honestly,
That's why I looked it up,
yeah,
because it was in the credits.
but honestly, if the story was good and we ended up watching this movie, this would feel like fan fiction.
It really would
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Because and this is something that also relates to the Bye Bye Man.
Right.
Right.
This is how he came about. Oh,
know.
look, we're in. How did he get from Louisiana riding trains to Wisconsin
Yeah.
All right.
via Illinois?
So something Katie and I do every time we go see a movie, regardless of whether it's a terrible movie or a good movie, we do what was our favorite thing, what was our least favorite thing.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do y'all have for a favorite thing? Starting out, look, we've been trashing, so we can do some positivity.
I like the dog.
The dog is cool.
Sack
Yeah.
of gore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dog's purpose ends up being feeding on lives claimed by the legend, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was eyes. It was feeding on the eyes. Remember, because that was the only part of
It's a
them that were ever.
PG-13 movie. I didn't see that.
You didn't.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, because whenever
I saw
it
the
showed,
cop, but
No, it was
it showed
initially.
the cop. It showed the brother and sister in bed with no eyes.
Okay.
And when you watched him when he was eating the girl that was after
yeah, it was her
he
face. I
was
saw that.
eating the face, and it was the eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't understand what that really means, but that's what it was.
it's hard
doing.
Well, if
It's
he's
hard
a
to
blind
see.
hobo, maybe the dog eats it and therefore he gains
Yeah, I guess
eyesight.
so. I don't know. It's voodoo legend. Eating eyeballs must be great. I don't know. I'm not eating eyeballs.
I'm having difficulty finding something positive. Really.
Wink.
The wink. The wink.
Yes.
The
I
wink
was
is
going to leave that for
fabulous.
you because you laughed very, very loudly
That was
at that.
fabulous.
Um,
I like the backstory. Whenever
It's
more
not
when,
a. It's not a terrible.
I guess
it's not a
it's-
terrible looking movie.
no.
No.
Like I mean, there's a lot of CG.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
a lot of CG, but
Yeah.
in general, you're like whenever you were screaming at all the people in the credits, you didn't scream at the DP.
right?
No, because he just did what he was supposed to do.
No, but Kevin, damn it, edit better.
I kind
Right.
of
Yes,
I kind
Kevin.
of enjoyed whenever he goes to see Faye Dunaway's character, the widow, and they go into the backstory, and it kind of shows a little bit more, and he's
But it
got
was
it
the
all over the
backstory
house. And
of the reporter, not of the bye-bye man.
Yeah.
I know, but that was the best part of the movie for
I
me.
guess I would have
So
to say
now
that
you
the
need to
opening
say
is my favorite
we
part.
need a Bye-Bye Man origin movie.
Kind of like Ouija. I mean, we
kinda
got
like
Ouija,
Ouija.
and then we got Ouija Origins. So we
Yeah,
got Bye Bye
so-
Man and Bye Bye Man Origins.
Yeah, but
I
they
mean,
gave you a taste
Damn it,
of
give
it.
us the origin.
They gave you a taste of it because the first thing you see is 1969. I'm like, okay.
yeah.
So
yeah.
supposedly it's been out there way before the internet.
then.
Okay, well then we'll have to see if this happens.
What was your
Based
favorite?
on what it's got in budget and whatever, it may get a sequel. I don't know.
I like the character Mr. Daisy.
Mr. Daisy.
It just seems so out of place.
I think you have to open a greenhouse if that's your name.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I kind of like the cop at the end that sounded like Paul. I'm just saying.
There was a cop that sounded a whole lot like Paul in this movie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was like, when did Paul
Katie,
get
let
his
go
side
of those.
job?
This is a this is there's kids about. Don't be holding on to those.
Okay, you're up.
Well, the wink was wonderful. But okay, I had probably my favorite thing because it was pretty bad. Was the girlfriend's reactions to things because they were pointless.
Well,
Like they
we're
didn't-
on positivity.
They're my favorite.
She's positive that it's her favorite thing.
Because
That's
it's kind of like
least
it's kind
about
of
this
like
movie.
you know when you tell someone who's like super over animated something, and then it's like you tell them something that's just like, oh well, you know, my cat had kittens. Oh my god, your cat had kittens! It's like, whoa, hold up, it had kittens. I mean, they're babies. I mean, come on, they're cute, yes, but I mean, really? Or my grandmother died. Oh my god, your grandmother died. I'm so sorry. I've never met the lady. I mean, come on now. It's like it was over dramatic for what it needed to be.
And it was really funny because she was supposed to be sick.
Yeah.
And that wasn't played up at all.
No,
And everything else was.
you're feeling a little warm.
Yeah, well,
Oh, you're cold in,
well,
in a greenhouse.
the scene where she goes to Mr. Daisy, like at first you're like, who the hell is this? And you're like, oh, this is the guy they rented the house from.
They were supposed to have
And
furniture in that house.
And basically, she screams at him that her house is crappy. She basically she says something almost dead on, like your house is crap.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I'm sorry you don't like it.
You have
They
a
signed the
lease.
lease, yeah. And it's awfully cold in here.
He's like, why
You're
don't
in a
you?
greenhouse,
And
it's
you're
not.
sick. Why don't you
Go home and go to bed.
And the implication being that the home is making her sick.
Yes.
Yeah. That I didn't furnish, even though I said it was going to be.
That didn't make any sense
So
to me.
yeah.
so the glorious wink for those curious in the movie is Bye Bye Man makes all the characters see things once they're infected, and
It's
they're
kind of like a
So the Bye Bye
kinda
Man
like
is
an acid
acid.
trip. I mean, it's kind of like
So-
you're sitting there and you're like, I would guess that's how a schizophrenic would feel.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, you're seeing all these things, and it's like, wait, what? Hold on, wait, where did that come from? Why? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I am so confused.
So Whenever
Where did the envelope go?
Whenever Carrie Ann Moss joins the movie, one of the first shots is the jock John. He's talking to her, and he sees her just all of a sudden give him a really flirty wink,
full on comedy wink.
Yeah, she like real animated,
and
leans into it and real broad smile. And John's reaction at first is horrified, and then he winks back.
And then she has the horrified look on her face, like, what is going on here? It was great. It was
he's horrified, but he's like, well,
okay.
This cop winked at me, so I guess I better reciprocate.
Yeah, don't do that, because then
it's
you end
Trinity after all.
Yeah, but if it's just a regular person, don't ever do that, because
I also think that
that can get you in trouble.
The conversation about male inadequateness was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I came in late on that one.
Oh, yeah, you were here. That was in the beginning. And then there was...
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like, what? And then he turns and looks at her, and there's like maggots in her hair, and he's, whoa, well, that's I wouldn't be able to get it up in then either.
Basically,
he couldn't get it up, she couldn't finish, because that was basically what that whole conversation in the car was, is he couldn't get it up, and she couldn't get it finished, and then there was maggots. And you're like, wait, what? Where did the maggots come from?
All in a very nice car.
And once again, John has a horrified look on his face, and he never talks to her again for the whole rest of the movie, so he's like, ugh, unclean! Yeah. And then the very next shot, whenever he goes back home, he's like, man, your girlfriend is perfect.
Yeah.
He's just like,
he walks up to her and cradles her face in his hands and says, see, that's pure and beautiful and perfect.
And then
runs away.
And then his best friend, her boyfriend, walks into the room and he's like, your girlfriend's perfect. And it's just like,
there's no reaction from...
He winces at first, and John's just like, what's going on?
Yeah. It's a very strange movie too.
And every scene,
I think I need to drop some acid to fully get into this movie.
Every scene afterwards has Sasha is the girlfriend's name.
Yeah,
has Sasha and John just real handsy.
Yeah.
Every time the boyfriend sees his best friend and the girlfriend, he's got his arm around her, or they're leaning in real close, and I'm just like, whenever they try to play at the jealousy angle into the third act, I'm like, I thought they were sleeping with each other by this point.
I think we missed a whole section of something.
Yeah.
There's something not right here.
Go back.
Or when he comes in,
Kevin edited it out.
or when he comes in and he's like, you don't need him. Come on, we go in here. Come on, just me.
Her first hallucination is John John goes in the bathroom. He comes back out. He's got his shirt off, and then he puts his finger down his trail, down his chest, hey. And I was just like, oh, we so need to see his best friend turn around and see that too.
Right.
Yeah,
but he didn't.
I'm just wondering, has that ever worked for any man on the face of the planet?
Well, I think he also got the same contract as what's his name from Twilight. Had to have his shirt off in every scene.
Oh, yeah, it was off a lot
for a little bit in the very beginning.
No, and then at the end when they were hallucinating, remember he was
shirt off
topless a
most
lot.
of the end too.
But the other two characters always had their jackets on.
Yeah,
I get the impression that there was no central heat in this house.
He was hot. They were cool.
I think Sasha had pneumonia. That was the
there you go. No wonder why she got sick.
Right? It's crazy.
I mean, and it wasn't. I don't know.
Okay.
And we talk about it like it's a terrible movie. And it's not something we'd recommend. Watch it. It's not terrible. It's not great either, but it's a good.
Yeah,
it's a good waste of an hour and a half.
Honestly, if you like anything like Slender Man, Marble Hornets, or Mothman Prophecies,
you're gonna like it.
It's on that wavelength. So if that's something that you really love, you'll probably like it at least.
Yeah. But if you want to up your game, you got Sinister, Insidious, Conjuring. There's some good ones.
The Mothman Prophecies itself is a solid movie.
It's Richard Gere.
It's still a solid movie.
It's still pretty good, despite his crappy acting.
Despite it being Richard Gere, it's still a pretty solid movie.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Or if you really want to up your game, watch some Oculus. I'm just saying.
Oculus does all the hallucination stuff much better than this.
Way.
But the one thing that
without the drugs,
my wife missed that she would be infuriated with.
I
The
know what
special
you're talking
effects
about.
and makeup artist in this was Robert Kurtzman.
Ugh.
There was 2 shotgun blasts without any blood.
I saw them.
There were
I
holes
was
in the walls.
pissed.
Yeah. There is a shot.
Okay,
There is a
look.
shot where they've got a shotgun
No, this
blast
was in the very
going
beginning.
into someone's chest.
And there was no blood.
How do you have no blood?
But-
Exactly.
But it's
And
the
it was
body,
just like-
and you blow a hole in it. There's got to be blood.
It wasn't
And
even
it
a
was
hole in a wall.
shots, but it wasn't even like they cut away
there's
from
no
it.
spatter on the wall behind
No,
him.
no spatter behind him.
Just a crater mark where they landed on the wall.
Well, normally you'd have like the camera cut away or something. No, the camera followed the body,
Why?
getting the shotgun
Why?
blast and no blood.
And then,
Damn it,
and then
Kevin.
and then it looks down, and it's like in a fetal position. You're
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, my thing was when I came in, I saw the guy stabbing the chick.
Oh, yeah.
And
This was at the
and
beginning in the open.
What
Slashing.
the hell? There's no blood on the scissors. I'm sorry, but
Oh,
if
that
you're
was
slashing
another
at
bad
somebody's
part, the whole
face, there's
scissor
gonna
stabbing.
be
The whole scissor
blood
stabbing because it was like
everywhere.
it made you look like
camera angles were
like-
weird.
It was really weird, and then the one where it was like the whole room kind of turned.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
there
it
was
was
that scene
like-
too, yeah.
It was like, wait, what?
Yeah, there was sort of like I don't know, for video games and stuff, it's called kind of a parallax effect,
Yeah.
where it like zooms in and like expands the frame at the same time.
Yeah.
It did it for 3 consecutive shots for about
Yeah.
15 to 20 seconds.
But it
Well,
also
it was more like it was
at
more
an
like going
angle.
askew.
It was like doing the skew thing, and
Yeah.
it was like, wait.
Okay, my point is, it's a horror movie. There's going to be blood. For God's sakes, throw some blood around. It's not that hard.
Even for a PG-13 movie, there
I mean, there was
should have
quite
been.
a bit of
there
blood in The
could have
Conjuring
been.
2.
More blood.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of blood in Conjuring 2.
I'm not talking gallon here. I'm just,
Conjuring 2 is R though.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But
throw some
I'll
blood.
tell you what is PG-13 that has more blood than The Conjuring 1.
Here,
Ouija.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Ouija?
Ouija Origin of Terror
Nightmare
is
Before Elm Street.
PG-13.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Friday the 13th.
No,
Halloween.
I'm talking. This is PG-13. I'm talking modern PG-13. With the Ouija
Yeah.
prequel, had
Yep.
lots more blood than this
It was
movie.
pretty gory.
It was a dark movie
It really
too.
was. It was very dark.
No, Sinister was hard too. I was
Oh,
looking to see.
Sinister was most definitely R.
Sinister
but
was
that,
most
But that
definitely
movie
R.
really wasn't all that violent.
No.
It really was.
Like
no.
the end
It
has
was-
a lot of blood in it,
It was
but
more
nothing on
like-
camera.
It was more like on camera. You know what I mean? It was like you're watching a movie that's watching a movie of something terrible happening. You know, it's,
But also, I mean, they cut away every time on
Yeah.
a snuff film.
Yeah.
Like, every
Yeah.
time there's a snuff film in Sinister, they
Because
constantly
then,
cut away.
because then he
Yeah,
goes and he
because then-
sees
yeah.
the ghoul standing there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway.
that was the bye bye.
Who did the effects?
Robert Kurtzman.
What the hell?
The K and B.
Easy killer.
Okay,
Easy.
what the hell? Have you lost your taste for blood? Do we need to talk? I'm just saying. There are 12-step programs.
I mean, I wouldn't think of a director
No.
that's like big scary movie. Well, initially it was actually MPAA made this rated R. And maybe
wish
they
it
went
would've
back
been.
and had to do something to get it down to PG-13.
That's probably why
'cause
Kevin
we
cut
had to-
all the good stuff
Because
out.
we had to, make it
So
feasible for 13-year-olds.
So when we talk about the the hard edits, feeling like something's missing, one of the first times I noticed there was a problem was you have the main character like starting to say, "There's weird things going on around this house," and she's like, "That's what I've been telling you all this time," and you're
Wait,
like,
what?
"Wait, what? When did she say any of this?"
She
Right.
didn't. All she said was bad vibes. I feel
Yeah.
bad vibes.
Bad vibes. That was it.
Oh, and there was a secret Oompa Loompa door
And the secret
that,
of the
that
Olympia.
we found nothing out about.
Except
It
for
was
the
just-
eyes.
Oh,
Except for
the
the
eyes.
eyes.
The
The
eyes
eyes
in
came
it.
out of there.
That's where the fun sack of gore.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
where the bag of
Yeah.
gore was from?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sack of gore.
Why the
Grimslinger.
hell wouldn't you throw that robe away?
I don't know. I mean, really?
Something ran at you from it.
So Bye Bye Man emerges not once but like 2 or 3 times
Mm-hmm.
from the wall of this room through this robe that's hanging up
Yeah.
by the hood.
Nope.
Yeah.
I
So
would torch that sucker.
every time you say
I
it,
would go
it
all
looks like
Sam and
this
Dean on
hooded
it. We're
figure's
talking rock salt.
standing.
We're talking lighter
Well,
fluid.
and one of the scenes, I think it was probably the second time you see it. Like he flips on the light, and the robe is fallen to the floor.
Well,
Right.
after you saw Bye Bye
After
Man
you reach through, and then all of a sudden he flips on the light, and it falls to the ground. But it doesn't even look like a robe. Then it looks kind of like a flattened teddy bear. It was really not even robe form. It was
Which
very weird.
Seems somewhat reminiscent to the Boogeyman movie.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
In the closet. And,
Yeah. Which I'd also recommend over this movie.
Yeah.
There's so many movies I could recommend over this
I
movie.
mean, another low-budget film that I would probably recommend over this movie that I don't think even went theatrical was The Curse of Sleeping Beauty.
yes.
It was a good one.
That
It
was a
was very
great film.
pretty.
Man, yes.
It was very pretty.
And yet had some disturbing moments.
I would not watch If You Have a Fear of Mannequins, though.
Yes, definitely.
Not a good.
No.
Oh, come on.
flick
It wasn't
for-
as creepy as the mannequin thing in Silent Hill.
They were pretty damn
Oh, I like
creepy.
the mannequin creature in Silent Hill
Yeah,
Revelation.
but that was like a creature thing. These
Yeah.
are just mannequins.
spider.
And it's like they're everywhere.
That's true.
And then they start moving.
And then they move. And it's not just like
It's not like
the
you're watching
creature
a movie.
moving like, all crazy
Yeah,
like a
it's like-
spider. This is like you look at them and they're one way and you kind of turn
Is
and you
one
turn
of them
back and it's
played
like
by Kim
right
Cattrall?
here.
Huh? I missed something. What did I miss?
He said, what was one of them? Kim Cattrall?
Oh, yeah.
A little late to the show. Thank you
I
very
missed that
much.
one.
Right over his head.
Yeah.
Oh. It wasn't. Oh, I
Well,
mean,
no, she was having some big trouble in Little China.
this was no snow shark, but by any means, it's not something that I would definitely watch again.
It looks like it was probably competently put together, and then it got into the editing room, and it started getting worse.
Right.
So now here's the real thing: was it the ratings board that did the hack job on it, or was it Kevin?
It was probably the ratings board because if
Probably
it was
because-
initially set as rated R and they wanted to target the teens,
Yeah, it was
It's
probably
not
hacked
the
to
ratings
pieces.
board; it's the studio. It's whoever decided that this needs to be PG-13 if we're going to make any
Right.
money on it.
That
So that would be
And
Intrepid.
it
That would've
worked.
been-
It worked.
yeah, they
It'd be Intrepid
grossed
Studios.
22 million.
Technically, they made 3 times what it paid for.
20,
Okay, well, they
almost, like
So they paid for the
$22
house.
million or something.
Well,
22 million.
depending on what they paid for.
Well, really,
advertising.
it really boils down to the director, and everybody thought, okay, this is great. We're going to get PG-13 on this, and then it went to the MPAA, and they went, no.
That has to be
You
completely cut
get
out.
an R, and they're like, damn, we didn't get our PG-13.
And-
Well,
and
what
can
do we
cut?
need?
And
And
it
then
se-
they give you a list.
And it seemed like there were maybe 2 shots in the entire movie that they really fought hard to get in for a PG-13. Because whenever Carrie-Anne Moss joins the movie, one of the hallucinations is her with blood pouring out of her mouth and her eyes torn out of their
Yep.
sockets.
That's one of
And
the ones they probably fought to keep.
And it's just like, it doesn't even relate to the plot at all.
No.
Like,
Oh,
no, not at
why? Why keep that?
Because it had nothing to do with any of the other hallucinations.
And they didn't do a good job describing the hellhound eating eyeballs, because
Yeah.
if they did, that would at least make sense.
Right?
I like it. It's like Cujo, except you just feed him eyeballs.
It makes you wonder if half of the effects were
doesn't
pulled
eat a
to
lot.
get that PG-13.
It's got an entire body to go with, and it keeps going for the eyeballs.
It's the juicy part.
Okay, so
The nibbly bits.
how would you fight Bye Bye Man if you were affected with this curse?
I would probably not think and not say it. No, I'm kidding.
Don't think it, don't speak it.
Don't speak. Anyway,
Because I mean, the idea of the "don't think it, don't speak it." I mean, it is sort of a catch-22. Because I mean, you're constantly thinking about it if you keep saying "don't think it." But
don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
One
I
of the
thought about it.
interesting
it.
things is it gives you a way to defeat the Bye-Bye Man,
Yeah.
the main character, but they do nothing with it.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
And
How do you defeat it?
instead of because
By
you,
not believing that he exists.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he
Yes,
figured that
because
out.
he figured it out at the
because,
end.
you know,
but
he-
then he takes the table and just
Actually-
chunks it in the woods. Let's not chunk it in the fire. Cut it up.
But
Let's
then it
not get
showed
rid
up
of it.
by the trash cans.
actually, that's not even third act. That's
No.
like the end of the second act that
Yeah.
he gets
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he just chunks this. The only thing after everybody dies, the only thing that's left of the Bye Bye Man is this damn table
Yeah.
and the coins. And what does he do? He chunks it in the woods down a hill. What the hell is that going to do?
Well, yeah, and when he thought he's got him figured out, that's when he runs over the librarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's because he wasn't paying attention to the damn road.
No, because he was like, I knew that was a
I knew that was
hallucination.
it. Oh, shit.
I was like, I'm gonna hit my best friend. Wait a minute, I'm gonna run through him. That's probably hallucination. I knew it. Ha ha. There's an actual person. In the road.
Yeah.
But
I never understood why the hell
was
was
going
she
to kill
out in the
him
middle.
anyway.
She was out in the middle of nowhere. She was not at a destination, and she had a knife in her hand.
she was
and she had
walking
no
to
car.
his house.
I was like, wait, what? Hold on. I'm very confused. How would she know that he was going between the widow's house and back to his house? How would he know? Because he didn't tell her
Maybe the
that.
college was in between.
Maybe she thought about the bye-bye man.
See, that was
And
one
he
thing I think
started
they should have
tripping her
done
out.
Don't
that would
think
have
it.
followed Sinister very well, and several other films, is have a conversation not with the librarian. It's like, well, I don't know. It's all redacted and in this box. Go find you a professor that knows some stuff about
Right.
something.
Of course, the biggest problem with that is the librarian says the name Bye Bye Man without.
Nope. 18 times or something.
Nobody's supposed to know about the bye-bye man.
Because that's
Nobody
the curse.
knows about it.
That's
It's
the curse.
Nobody knows
But-
the bye-bye
but
man.
she,
The
like-
bye-bye man. The bye-bye man. The bye-bye man. The bye-bye man. The bye-bye man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like...
And one of the fun things about it is she actually feeds him the line before she says it.
Yeah.
So either she's read it or they messed up in the script.
Yeah. It was... Yeah.
Foul
It
play.
could have been scenes out of order.
It could have been an editor's issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The editor could have went, well, this works
Kevin.
better this way, but yet not with the dialogue.
So the main villain of this movie is
Kevin.
editor Kevin.
Editor said,
Kevin, I swear. We need to have a little
We need
chat,
a
darling.
director's cut for this one.
I would like
Kevin
to
says,
see.
"I'm not afraid anymore."
I would love
Come
to see
out
a
to
director's
play,
cut for
Kevin.
this, just to see what the actual envisionment of it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, bring the director's cut out in a special features or whatever at rated R. That's fine.
Yeah.
So we can actually see everything.
Yeah, because I think that there's a lot that was not shown that
Yeah.
would have made
Blood.
a whole lot more sense.
Probably.
Yeah.
No.
You know, I mean, and it almost looked like when they made the shots, like that. It almost, because of the way they flew back, it almost looked like they had edited out all
The
of that,
blood.
the blood that was supposed to be there.
And it might have been.
Because I mean, it was like you
It-
could tell that there should have been, especially in the
The opening sequence should have had tons of blood.
right. Well, but I mean, it looked like
Well,
it almost should have
cam-
been there, but then it was like not. It was
Well,
too clean
it
to
makes
be
me
there.
wonder
the
if
camera
they,
didn't follow the fire in
No.
the first shot,
No.
though.
Right.
No.
Like, yeah, so there was that.
it makes
but-
me wonder if they tried it with digital blood first, did
it
the
didn't
screening,
work.
and then the MPAA was like, nope, too bloody, too gory, you're going to get an R.
They
And
go,
they just
okay.
went, whoop, we'll just take that
Control
effect out.
Z.
Yeah, because that is almost what it looks like. It almost looks like it was there to begin with, and then all of a sudden they just Photoshop that around. Because, you know, when you Photoshop something, you kind of have that blurb around
Right.
it, and it almost felt like that blurb was there. It was not, but it felt like it was there.
The big
You
problem.
should not be around my husband in photo
Or-
editing stuff ever. Because you just totally screw up movies when we're watching them.
But the thing that was really telling and so bizarre about that shotgun blast going through that woman's chest, and then she didn't have a hole and there was no blood, is that there is a huge impact that could have only been made by the shell from the
Right.
shotgun through her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she flies back, then she goes to the fetal position. In the wall, there's this huge indention where
Yeah.
where it would have flown through her chest.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
plenty of shrapnel that went through and hit the wall.
But it didn't look like a shotgun blast. It just looked like someone punched the wall.
Well, it didn't
You
look
know
like
what
her
I mean?
body,
It was
though.
very,
No, it
very
It
weird.
did not look like her body
It was a
hit
very
the
weird
wall.
thing.
No,
Small.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
Give it
getting
a try.
headache thinking about these effects.
If you want to be brave
Jesus
and
Christ.
you just like watching horror because you love horror like we do, give it a try. See what I mean, you may find that we're idiots and need to tell us.
You're an idiot.
Thank you.
You're an idiot to believe somebody could survive a shotgun blast like that and there not be any blood.
Don't talk to me. I'm getting directed.
We are
Maybe
not.
she was an alien.
Maybe, but then there would be acid in the wall. It would eat through the wall
I
and the
don't know.
floor.
I didn't say
'cause if it was a
xenomorph.
Vulcan, it would be green. It would at least be green if he was Vulcan.
Maybe she was a balloon. Maybe she was a mannequin.
She was a figment
No,
of
if
our
it was
imagination.
mannequin,
Yes,
there's
yes.
dust everywhere. I'm saying, guys, just
There should have been something there, and it felt very
empty.
Yeah.
empty. It was not complete.
I feel
It just didn't-
hollow.
I would say that more than likely we could call this an incomplete film because it didn't feel
It didn't
like
feel
it
complete.
was
It was very
completed
yeah.
the way it should have been.
Yeah.
I'm confused about this film. I feel like I need
And
to
I
lay
feel
down and
like
take a
because
nap.
of the way they ended it, that there's going to be another one, and
Oh God, no!
it'll be something that we watch because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Can I have LSD before we watch it, please? I'm just begging you.
Not in my home.
No, I got them there, the DSLs. We got this okay.
Yeah.
As someone who has never seen the first Ouija movie and has no intention of it, I
Right.
love the Ouija prequel.
It was great.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
great.
It was great.
Origin of
It was
Evil was
Or-
amazing.
Originality, like it was like someone saying, "Okay, I'm going to use the bare bones and I'm going to do my own thing." And
Yeah.
It's wicked.
Yeah.
It's very.
So, I mean, technically, you could do something with this premise.
You could.
You could do a
You could. You
great,
could do it.
amazing backstory on the Bye Bye Man alone.
But
Yeah.
but this just felt so disconjointed, and it was not cohesive
So
in
I don't,
any form.
I don't know if I'm ready to condemn any sequel ideas.
No.
Like,
No.
it could be better.
Right.
I would hope it was a prequel and not a sequel.
We want the origins.
We want the origin of the Bye Bye
Yeah.
Man. Come on,
give
it
us
to us.
the
Right.
origins.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, it would be great. Oh well, if
You know?
done correctly and not edited by.
Give him the Candyman.
Kevin.
Give him the Candyman for World of the
We
Flesh.
don't want to see. We don't want to see a Bag of Gore spinoff movie though.
No bags of gore spin-off movies, please.
No.
Just
I think Bag
There
of
was more blood over there than on the movie.
Lord
Yeah.
mercy.
All right, so there we go. The Bye Bye Man.
Bye Bye Man.
Next week, I think
Bye,
we've
Man.
picked
we have
a movie.
picked a movie. It's
And
going to be
so
great. It's
we'll-
Heather.
And drum roll,
Bye Bye Man.
please.
Bye Bye Man was Mike's pick.
Yeah,
this
those were my
next
picks
week
this
is my
time.
pick.
Yep.
And it's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
I
We're gonna
hope
have a
we're
lot
keeping
for
our
it.
feet. I'm telling you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
It's a secret. I don't want a secret. Well, too damn bad. It's a secret.
Raise your hand
This
if
was
you're
supposed
sure.
to be a
It's a secret.
Oh God. What is in your Coke?
Coke.
We need to switch.
So yeah, Bye Bye Man this week, and if you don't agree with anything we've said, let us know. Shoot us a line over at on
Tell us
Twitter
what's up.
or
It's
on
okay. We love
Facebook
hater
or-
mail.
Yeah.
Or just take a picture of you flipping us off on Instagram or something. I don't know, whatever.
Or
Something.
show us the
us.
gore
yeah,
you think
Kevin.
should have been
Flip
there.
us off on Instagram, Kevin.
Come on, Kevin. Nah, okay, in all seriousness, I'm sure Kevin probably did the best job he could given the circumstances of the MPA
Kevin probably
readings that
edited
are
the hell out of
assholes.
that film, and then they threw a piece of paper at him and said, "Make those."
And he said, what the hell?
And then they edited the more hell out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So in all aspects, it was and was not his fault.
Yeah.
Right,
He had no ultimate say in it.
right.
He was just doing his job. Poor bastard.
Also, don't
Nazis.
forget to subscribe to us.
MPA
We have 2 locations right now:
Google
Two?
Play,
We
Google
have
Play,
two.
and iTunes.
Google Play and iTunes. You can subscribe to us there.
And always check us out on
We said
Oh, the Book of Faces.
the
Book of
Facebook,
Faces.
The Book
the
of Faces.
Instagram,
Right,
and
right,
Twitter.
right. And don't forget
our website,
our website.
beercentral.net.
.net. And while you're over there, you know what? Take some time. Go buy you something.
Go look in the shop.
Yeah.
We've got
You're
lots of
worth
good
it.
stuff in the
You're
shop.
worth it, even if
Buy
you're Kevin.
yourself something.
Yeah.
Father's Day is coming
Kevin-
up.
We
Come
feel
on.
bad for you. Go buy yourself something pretty.
There you
Buy
go.
yourself something nice.
Yeah, Kevin, go get you a shirt that says Master Editor.
There
and
you
then,
go.
and
There
then
you go.
flip us off wearing that shirt.
There you
I
go.
would- you know what?
I would love that.
Kevin, I
That'd
would
be
love to
amazing.
see you in a master editor shirt flipping us out. It would just
Flipping us out?
flipping
All
us
right.
out and off. It would just make my day, honey, because
Yeah.
I know you probably did the best you could,
Right.
but you're still a bastard for chopping the hell out of it.
So there we go. We'll catch y'all again next week with a whole new movie review. And
exciting.
as always,
Stay scared.
Fear Central is a product of Thoughtbox Studios. Copyright 2017. For more information, visit thoughtboxstudios.com.